Okay.
He even got a toothbrush in here. Like, he got it going on. This is just one little toolbox.
See this?
Why?
This goes with your, because you have to scrape some things off, wipe things off, brush things off.
Yeah.
Whereas places that you can't get your hand in and stuff. This is what you use that socket for. This is the wrench.
Not on my channel.
Okay.
How did we get there? Hey guys, it's Dr. Sonia here with Jump First. I've helped hundreds of creative entrepreneurs and business owners to take back their free time, generate additional revenue, and celebrate while living that work from anywhere lifestyle through creating online courses and digital education. So I'm super excited that you guys are here. Say it with me. Done is better than perfect. Master one thing at a time. Practice makes better. And this has to work, right? Let's get it. Hello, welcome back to the Jump First Academy YouTube channel, y'all. Of course, I am here with my parents. What's up, y'all, for another episode of Unscripted Coffee Conversations. I got my coffee. You guys have your coffee?
Hilarious.
I have my coffee cup with tea in it today.
Okay.
I have a little water.
I love it. So what does your mug say?
My mug says Best Grammy.
Oh, that's cute. So the grandkids gave you that?
Len did.
Oh, that's so cute.
I believe she brought it back from Tennessee.
I love that. Okay, so when she came here to see me, that's awesome. I'm gonna ask her about that when I talk to her later today. I'm sure she'll FaceTime me when she gets out.
I'm sorry. Let me take that back.
Okay.
When it was last year when we came down to Tennessee to see you, me and your father, well, I brought my gifts for Mother's Day because I was at your house.
Oh.
And this was one of the gifts. Yes.
Yeah, I remember you opened all the gifts here.
Yeah, there go Tennessee. Yeah.
Oh, mine says, "You have filled my heart with greater joy." Psalm 6:7.
So nice.
Yeah, this is my collection. One of my cups from my collection that you gave me. There are 4 of them about joy.
Let it overflow. Yes.
Yeah.
Love, joy, all the fruit of the spirit.
Boom. Let's get it. All right. Well, I'm super excited to bring another episode to this channel. And so if you're not caught up, I typically am posting these sessions, these unscripted coffee conversations where I get to have some literally unfiltered, unscripted conversations with my parents, and they drop some gems up on me and we just really just talk. And so these are dropped every Sunday, typically, is the game plan going forward. I've been really trying to, in full transparency, get my entire posting and content schedule under wraps and really get a plan in place, especially for this 4th quarter of 2022. So you'll see, again, more of these rolling out typically on Sundays. If you are not subscribed to this channel yet and this is your first time, welcome to Jump First Academy. Go ahead and hit subscribe. Make sure you hit the bell notification so you're notified when more episodes drop, either like these and also episodes about creating your online courses and entrepreneurship and this journey and all the stuff. I like to keep it super transparent, super real. So I hope that you find a lot of value in this channel. Again, hit the subscribe button, the like button, and that bell notification. I am super excited to keep pushing these episodes out. And also leave your comments, comment in the comment section, what your thoughts are. If you have a different opinion, I'm cool with that. It's all about starting and cultivating a conversation. So I'm super excited that you are here. All right. With that being said, let's jump into today's topic. Mom, Dad, what y'all got for me today?
Oh, yeah. What's in your toolbox or tool bag? Oh, you left me, baby. Yes. And so, hey, yes, you and you and you. I'm talking about you. Who, me? Yeah, you. It couldn't be, oh, yeah. So, I can say what's in my toolbox, my tool bag. I have a tool bag.
Yeah.
And
Well, this is interesting.
Yes, it is about the tool. What's in your tool? Necessity. Things that's necessity. That's a necessity for you to help you maneuver on your journey. Oh yeah. All right. So,
Toolbox.
all right, honey. Go ahead, baby.
Many people know a toolbox as a toolbox. It's like oblong.
We can't see.
It's, I took it out in the shed
In the garage.
garage. But
It's like with this big, but they have different sizes, right?
Yes, different
hold on.
sizes.
Let me show you one.
They even have them with wheels on them.
Okay.
Okay.
With the wheels on them.
Yes. You have one too, don't you?
With wheels?
No, you have a tool bag.
I have a tool bag. I don't have a box. I don't have a toolbox.
Here comes
But I
one
have
of his
like a
toolbox.
couple
Here's
of
one of his
bags.
toolboxes, because my husband has been working on cars since he was 12 years old. So you know he's loaded, right?
Yes.
He has all different types of sizes and shapes and
yes.
everything. Yes.
I got
Bags
one.
and boxes.
I got one that sits on the floor about as high as Caleb.
Well,
Oh my gosh.
About-
Who's
Great
almost
thing.
as tall as me?
About 4 feet. He's about 4 feet,
Caleb is taller than 4 feet.
maybe.
well,
But
that was a wrong
Caleb's my
thing.
nephew.
But I had him in the pool
He has
and he went to
one
4 feet. So he was a little over 4 feet.
Okay.
But this is my toolbox.
Okay, with the red toolbox.
Turn it around so they can see.
They can see it.
It's so heavy. Be careful.
Yeah.
I bet.
I gotta help him.
See, this is a
Uh-huh.
toolbox. Now,
Let me open it.
this toolbox has many things in it.
Let me open it. Oh, wow. He has so many of them, but he got this stuff up in there now. Oh, it's so heavy. Oh, he got a lot of this.
That's a lot of stuff.
Oh,
I got,
yeah.
wrenches to tighten up your things, you know, the L-shaped wrenches.
Uh-huh.
This is a wire cutter.
I know those are called Allen wrenches, right?
Yeah, this
Yeah.
is like a bedside piece,
But you must always keep
Bedside
some of
piece.
this in there.
Yeah.
This is to clean your hands up when you
Good.
get done. This is a screwdriver, for those who don't know.
And this is a measuring tape. Measure me.
I
baby.
got one. I got one of those. I was
That's
measuring
not
myself, my height.
Yeah, measure me, baby.
This is a socket.
Oh my God.
Okay,
Wow.
now it comes with a socket wrench, which you can use on any tool that you want.
Mhm.
Okay.
He even got a toothbrush in here. Like he got it going on. This is just one little toolbox.
See this?
Why?
This goes with your, because you have to scrape some things off,
Sometimes
wipe
brush
things off, brush
And the
things off,
creases, yeah.
where places that you can't get your hand in and stuff. This is what you use that socket for. This is the wrench.
Not on my channel.
Okay.
How did we get there?
A lot of people don't know what this is, but this is a battery cleaner. They clean the post off with, it works.
Okay.
Now, let me tell you about a toolbox. You done seen everything that goes in a toolbox. Okay. This is for professional work or those just starting out. But the toolbox that I'm talking about is any entrepreneur.
Entrepreneur, yeah.
Entrepreneur. Now, you have a toolbox. A lot of people don't know what it is. But your toolbox is all the information that you gathered when you was in school to teach your people.
Are you talking to Dr. Sonia?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
And what you do with that is you put everything in there and hold it and use it as needed.
Yeah.
That's a growing box, as a matter of fact.
Mhm.
Because when you put that in there, it's what you're teaching and what you're learning. So you can fall back on it whenever you need anything out of it. You can open that box up, pull out a piece of paper, read from it, and it's the same thing that you were teaching.
Mm.
And that's a mighty weapon because you're an entrepreneur and you grow. And being an entrepreneur, everything that, see, because you're learning more as you go along, even though you're the teacher. So you teach what you know. And if people don't get it, you can go in a toolbox and explain it or send them some information.
Yeah.
So that they'll have it. But you always have that toolbox for no matter what, down through the year. And the toolbox, your toolbox, keeps growing. Now,
Yeah. That's it. That was perfect. Because I do find that happening, you know, like from year to year, but even not even just year to year, month to month, week to week, day to day, literally, like the things that I knew yesterday have been enhanced today because there is consistent action. And this is one of the things that I talk to people a lot about, you know, building momentum, you know. And so I know we're going to get into like different tools and what tools are used for and all of those things in a second, but you know, it's one of those things. Even like on today, I was talking to someone and we were talking about Six-Figure CEO Society, and they weren't quite ready for Six-Figure CEO Society yet, right? And so we were having a conversation and they asked me, you know, okay, well, what do I need right now where I am? Like, where can I start? I want to work with you. I just need a place to get started. And I was able to reach into my metaphorical tool bag or toolbox and pull out, you know, okay, well, let's start with the teach it sheet. You know, let's start with 9 to Thrive. Like, there are all of these things that over my entrepreneurial journey, I have developed, right? And I feel like as an entrepreneur, you're kind of like making these things, creating all this stuff. And at some point you're sitting back looking like, well, what is this for? What did I do that part for? How can I use this? And then along this journey, everything starts to come together. You know, you get to a point where you're like, oh, I can fit this piece goes here, and then this piece goes here, and then this piece goes here. And you just start inserting these different assets that you have into your funnel, as we call it, or into, you know, your offer stack or those sorts of things, which I talk about a lot on this channel. And so, yeah, every single day is just like, it's new information that I'm able to now apply, because one of the things that you specifically talked about was, you know, knowledge, right? And how we gain knowledge throughout the years and how we learn. And people for a long time have said knowledge is power, knowledge is power. But let's take it a step further. The application of the knowledge is where the power lies, right? Like, you have to not just absorb the stuff and have the stuff here, but how are you actually going to apply it? And that's where this toolbox situation comes in.
Yes.
And also, what you're telling me right now, if you set up here with that toolbox, you can almost write a book.
I know, right?
Keep that information in your book, and that's also awesome. You can sell that book.
Yeah.
And people will have it for life.
Yeah.
And they can always use it.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
That's the perfect thing about digital products too. Like, it's never goes away. It's forever.
Right. That's your product. That's right.
Yeah.
So, and see, you hit it right on the nose when you said knowledge.
Sound like a hammer to me.
Because and when you use that knowledge, that wisdom that comes behind it.
Yeah.
So it's a growing process, really, and you take it like step by step.
That's it, and not try to skip to the end. Like, that's the thing where a lot of people get misconstrued, especially about entrepreneurship, online courses in general. You know, there are people that I teach all the time about turning what they know, their life experiences, which life experiences, in my opinion, are the application of knowledge. You know, you learn something, you know something, right? And then you go and you have an experience, a life experience, and that, because of that experience, now you've added to your knowledge base, which also translates to wisdom. Because when you start being able to teach someone from your life experiences, you are walking in wisdom, literally, like you're applying what it is that you know. Again, I always teach that, you know, I've said this plenty of times, is that wisdom is the application of knowledge, you know, because you're able to apply it. And so I just think that it's like super important that people understand, like, and I was going back to this. So when I teach people about creating their online courses from the things that they know, from their life experiences, from that place of wisdom, is being able to have opportunities to develop these digital assets, these things that are essentially, it's a digital legacy. It's not going anywhere. It's never going to go away. It's never going to fade, right? And it's something that people can always come back to. And so I think that's very important. But a lot of people get sidetracked and they get upset, or I shouldn't say upset, frustrated, because they don't have the right now result. But the thing about entrepreneurship and online courses and digital education is there is no end to this journey. Like, it literally is, you think you're going to a specific destination, but once you get there and you've achieved the goal that you set out to achieve, there's a new one, because we are human. And as our knowledge and our brain starts to expand, it's only right that we would want something new, right? We're constantly expanding, constantly creating. And so every time you think you reach a destination, there's this new journey that you get to go on. And that's becoming fun for me at this stage of my business.
Mhm.
Right now, understand that. That's all well and good.
Mhm.
But if you don't have that right tool, if you don't have that right knowledge, you're gonna fail, because that tool that you have to, it's designed for one thing.
Mhm.
You can't take that tool and try to put a nail in with a wrench, because it won't work.
Yeah.
Or you can't use a screwdriver when you need a hammer.
Mhm.
So knowledge comes behind what you use and how you use it.
That's right.
But another thing, some people try to jump ahead of what they have, when all they have to do is have patience. My wife talks about it like this: don't go ahead and don't be behind, but be in the middle and learn. Learn. You have to learn first before you can walk, before you can run. So therefore, take advantage of what's being taught to you. When you teach somebody, make them understand, allow them to understand what you're saying. Some of them you can't use sophisticated
Language.
words.
Words.
You have to give it to them directly, even though the person has the knowledge. Work it down, give them something to work with, because that's your tool.
Yeah.
So,
You know, that's true.
And you're the teacher.
You know, my two favorite tools is
I can guess.
Screwdriver.
A socket and a screwdriver.
A socket wrench. A socket. What do you use the socket wrench for?
A socket wrench.
Yeah.
Let's say you have.
Yeah.
And you want to screw it in the wall to hang a picture, instead of just using a nail and wow. What is that? I lost my concentration.
A nail and a screwdriver?
No. It's a screw, actually, but if there's no wood there, then you gotta use a molly.
Oh.
A molly.
Okay.
Right. And most people, you hang things up there, they don't care.
I know.
Without the mileage, and well, you know, it might fall.
Yeah, and bust the wall up, right?
Yes. And tear your wall.
And that's a problem.
Yes.
Okay, I love that. And so one of the other things, I was gonna say something else and I can't remember what it was.
Oh, wow. I'll tell you.
First of all, let me tell y'all what's happening over here, okay? This has been my life, okay, since I've been an adult. All right, like on the precipice of becoming an adult. All right, like since I was about 14, 15, 16. This is not an X-rated channel. Okay. However, all right, the innuendos, my parents let them fly. They're not shy. and never have been. I mean, I remember bringing friends over and just being like, oh my God, like if I could turn red, I would have been red. Okay. Like they just are something else. So don't mind them, y'all.
Oh yeah, this is
Yeah.
this is
I'm
serious.
sure y'all get used to
Yeah,
it.
this
Yes.
is serious.
Because I just kind of like
Yeah.
my sisters and I, we just go and we just keep
like,
on going,
we
you
like
know.
to enjoy
Yes.
and entertain.
But it's hilarious.
Mhm.
All right, so I love that y'all are so open. That's I think like that is, if y'all have ever wondered why I'm so, because I hear it all the time, like how authentic I am, how real I am, you know, and it's just like, look at my parents. So like how I grew up. It's kind of like I didn't have a choice. All right. Like they allowed freedom of speech, of like whatever you needed to say, you were allowed to say it. Whatever they had to say, they made sure they said it, you know, and it was just like, that's how I grew up. And so I really don't know another way. And I think that I've said this before, but I credit that environment with my ability to have some thick skin, right? Because to be an entrepreneur and to be putting yourself out there online, you have to be prepared for the people who don't agree with what you believe, you know, don't agree with what you say, don't agree with your opinions or your advice, and you got to keep going anyway. And so, you know, that's one of the things I hear a lot from people is, you know, well, do I have to have social media? That question actually came up last night in a Q&A session that I had for Six Figure CEO Society. You have to submit an application. By the way, shameless plug, Six Figure CEO Society, I am looking to work with a few more entrepreneurs who are looking to get their online course businesses up and running before the end of this year. If you're catching this video in 2023, you can still make it happen. It happens very quickly, usually within 30 days. So you just go to jumpfirstacademy.org in order to get started. And then you have to apply, and there's a whole process, and then you can come hang out with me in a Q&A session that is going to be live, and ask your questions there for moving forward. So again, jumpfirstacademy.org. But yeah, that's kind of like, I feel like, you know, you have to have some thick skin when you're in this game, and social media is a requirement. Like it's one of those things, if you're not using social media, especially going into 2023, then I don't know another way, you know, it's how the world is moving. And so you just got to get with the program and come on aboard. But yeah, I always credit y'all with cultivating an environment that allowed me to speak my mind and not feel shameful about it, and not, even if it was something that I questioned that went against what y'all taught us to believe based on your beliefs, it was still like there's this openness of being able to just come and talk about it. And I think that that's important. You know, we need more creativity. We need more people who are willing to speak their minds. And that, I feel, is one of my most valuable tools in my tool bag, in my toolkit, you know, is just, you know, being able to be myself. So yeah, that's important.
That's what it's all about, being yourself.
Yeah, where mommy go? She just dipped out. Hopefully she'll be back.
Yeah, I'm back. Here I am.
Oh, okay.
Well,
hello. I was looking for my
that's hilarious.
tool bag. I know I have a couple of them in my vehicle, and I wanted to show my tool bag.
She has a much stuff
that I have, and to let you know. Excuse me. That was a nice little video thing there.
That's right.
Each and every one know, you know, that it's really a real thing of having your own tool bag. And even if you wanted it to be symbolic, if you never really use the tools that's in there, and it gives you courage, knowledge, wisdom, and understanding, so that you can be all that God has called you to be and be nothing less. For you to be prosperous, for you to flourish, for you to enhance your, not just your spiritual growth, but your natural growth. And just having that, it has the basic tools in there, a starter kit, so to speak. Where's yours at?
And then you add stuff as you go. Like you're right, you have a starter kit and then you add things as you go. Like that's the same thing I've been doing with my business. It's like I started with some stuff, and then like I've added stuff as I go. Yeah,
Where's your tool bag?
A lot of stuff.
downstairs in the utility closet.
Well, next time.
Yeah, but I have all that stuff, you know.
I
It's
know
like
you do.
I know. I started with Daddy gave me what did you give me first? A hammer.
Hammer,
Gave me a hammer first.
screwdriver,
Yup.
yeah.
He
And I-
started, yes, he did.
Yeah, and I started like collecting these things, and
Yeah.
then y'all bought me he bought me another tool bag
Mhm,
when he came to Tennessee.
mhm.
Yeah,
Yes,
that helps.
but even before, when you moved out, he started giving you tools
I know.
and different type of tools that are not even in a basic bag. The
I
stuff
know.
he gave you some nuggets.
And sturdy ones from
Yeah.
like back in the day.
Yes.
I'm like, I wouldn't even think I was
Yeah.
born yet.
Yeah. And then when your sisters moved out, he gave them tools as well.
That's
And
right.
they still have tools. He gave me tools. And then we, like you said, we end up buying a nice, different
Set.
bag, a
Different
set.
things, yeah.
But it went along. You were able to put some great nuggets in that.
Yeah. And I wouldn't have known, like I literally am looking around my place right now. It took me some time. Like I chilled out when I first moved to Tennessee. I didn't know how I wanted to decorate my place, but then like I was able to hang up my curtains, my rods, and all that stuff. I knew how to use a power drill. I knew how to use put the screws into the wall, and those sorts of things. And to that point, there is something to be said, I think, about practice. Like practice doesn't make perfect, it makes better. The more you do something, the more you practice with the tool, the more comfortable you become with using it. You may not know what you're doing the first time. I look at some of my curtains upstairs, those rods, not that I've never hung curtains before, but some of those rods upstairs, like I had to drill another hole, because I'm like, oh, I missed the mark, just a little bit, or I measured that wrong. But when you get to the downstairs, those were one and done because I had the practice, right? I'm like, okay,
Right.
boom, I know how to eyeball this. I can measure this. Like even to this point, just doing something, repetition is necessary. And again, when you have the right tools, then it's just very easy to complete a task. Have you ever tried to complete a task with the wrong tools? Right? You got the wrong tools. You don't have the right things to do the thing, and it takes longer, it's harder, it's more difficult. It's one of those things, like when you have the right tool, it can be like boom, 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 and done.
And practice makes perfect.
Better. Practice makes better.
Yeah. And this has to work.
There you go.
You could have even took a molly screw and made it work.
So,
yeah, I tried that. It wasn't right.
When you talk about tool, you have to use the tool that was designed for what you're going to do.
Exactly. Otherwise, it's hard. I've tried that, and I'm like, why am I this is hard. And you break down, and you're just like, I gotta go get the right thing because I'm not about to finish hanging these curtains with the wrong stuff. It's like I had to buy 2 power drills.
So saying that is when you're learning, you tool that is designed for.
Yeah.
Somebody gives you something that you don't understand, tell them to break it down for you.
Break it on down.
And then you know what you're talking about. They know what they're talking about.
Yes.
But that's when
they won't be lost.
Yeah. And that's when you have a true teacher and mentor, because not everyone, like I tell people all the time,
and you are that.
Thank you. I tell people all the time, especially getting into online courses, like there are some people who have achieved great things, right? And they've done awesome stuff. But if they don't have a framework to be able to teach you how to do that thing, then it's not going to work. You need to choose your mentors and your coaches and your teachers. If you're trying to reach a certain goal, you need to choose them based on, can they show you how to get there, right? Not that just they've achieved it. That's great. But I see some people sometimes who are trying so badly to, they have a burning desire to teach other people how to achieve the things that they've achieved. But the dog is going through some stuff. But
Jesse.
He's going through some stuff. He's finishing up his treat. I try to keep him quiet during these sessions, and he's going through some stuff. But yep, there we go. Yeah, but anyway, so yeah, there are some people who want to teach what they know but just don't have a framework to teach other people how to do it. And that's where people like me come in, to be able to show people how to put their experiences, how to put their knowledge into a framework. And so that's just super important. Again, right tools, right? That's this basis
Right
of this
tool.
conversation. So you need a framework. A framework is a tool for you to use to be able to
Right.
teach other people. And then the other thing that I know you and I were talking about this yesterday, Dad, about toolkits and stuff, because I had done another video on this channel about right tools. It's called Right Tools, Wrong Hands. Right
Right,
Tools,
right.
Wrong Hands.
Right.
And I'll link it in the description below. But and we were expounding upon that, and we were talking about how sometimes people will take a tool from a different coach, a different mentor, a different teacher, and try to apply it, in a totally different program, in a totally different capacity. And that speaks to this whole conversation about you got to use the right tools for the job that you're doing. Like that, you can't, that's shiny object syndrome. Like you can't try to pull practices, strategies that you learn somewhere else and try to apply them wherever you currently are, right? Weren't we talking about that?
Yeah, because
Yes.
that will confuse you, and you won't get it. You just won't get it. You gotta stick with the right teacher, the ones that's gonna teach you. Don't go jump all over the place thinking that you're gonna learn and jump ahead of the game, because it won't work. You go out there and it might work on some people, maybe the ones that don't have the understanding that you got. But for those ones that already have a bit of mental mortality, they will understand, but it still will have to be broken down, and you have to pace yourself in order to get ahead. Don't try to work faster than what you're getting, because the message that you got is for you. And what everybody else is saying in that room, just think that they're not even there. The message that you're receiving from your teacher is for you and you alone. So don't listen to everybody out there. Listen to what your teacher's telling you.
Yes, yeah.
I agree with that, because that's a good point, because when you sit in a room, it doesn't matter. I remember being at University of Delaware, my first semester, those biology classes, I was a bio major for 3.5 years. And then I changed majors to become a women's studies major with a psych minor, because I wanted to go into humanities. After I was in the labs for a little bit, cutting stuff open, that was enough, right? Like guts and blood and all that stuff.
Right.
So, but I was sitting in these lecture halls, they try to weed people out, because if you're not committed to biology, chemistry, those types of majors, engineering, like those are very competitive majors. And so they will weed you out very early to see if you can keep up with the workload. Now, granted, that was not my path. I had a 1.7 GPA my freshman year. And that was because,
Awesome.
I love the labs, right? But a 1.7 GPA was failing because I did not like the classwork. And it also was very easy to fly under the radar, because those entry level classes, like those 100 level, 200 level classes for biology and chemistry, were filled with students. It was like 300 plus students in those lecture halls. So it was easy to just give my clicker thing. They took attendance with a clicker, and I would just give my clicker to one of my friends or something and sleep in at 8 a.m. because I did not want to hear somebody read from the textbook. And so, it was one of those things that I just did not like that, because I feel like I was regurgitating information. But the thing about what you just said is, being even in a lecture hall of 300 plus students, each one of those students perceives the information that they're receiving differently. So, and we perceive information like that in our whole lives. It's like I can say one thing, and I even think about my sisters, Jenna and Jonna, and I'm like, sometimes I can say the same thing to both of them, but they take it totally different ways, and so having to be able to modify my message, even though I'm communicating the same thing, I have to say it differently to each of them so that they can get and feel where I'm coming from and understand what I'm trying to say, at least the basis of what I'm trying to say. And so you're right. When you're in a room with an instructor, a teacher, a coach, a mentor, forget about everybody else. Like, don't worry about how people are seeing you, what other people are thinking about, what it is that you are hearing. Make sure that you have a solid understanding of how to apply this to your business, to, you know, whatever project you're working on, to your life, and then move forward from there. It's not about anybody else. It's you and that coach, that mentor, and that's just it. That's how I see it.
Yes,
Yeah.
that's exactly right.
Tell me about it. You said your 2 sisters. I got 3 daughters, so I know how it is. Yeah.
Yeah,
And
it's
see-
different.
And see what you're talking about in college, about being in that room and have to cutting these animals up and stuff like that, because you wanted to be a doctor. But when you found out,
To be a medical doctor.
wait a minute, when you found out what it was all about, you left. That became you became even better, because even though you missed a doctor for intern, you're still a doctor and a professor. You're everything that you wanted to be.
I knew it. Like, yeah, like, so I didn't become a medical doctor, but I always said since like 7, I was like, I want to be a doctor. I want to be a doctor. First, it was a pediatrician. And then, I got into those labs and I was like, like, no way. Baby sharks and worms and, you know, the experiments that we had to do with chicks, you know, like we literally had to incubate these chicks and then wait for them to hatch. And then like, it was too much for me. And I was like, no, I can't do this.
You can decipher from what you are today
that was
versus what you
Yeah.
could have been. Yes.
Yeah.
You had a free will to choose, and you chose what you felt was comfortable for you. It's your specialty. It's what you love.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I was acing those classes.
Yeah.
Like women's studies. Yeah.
Now you're in a position to give to others.
Mhm. Yeah.
And all they have to do is accept it and be still
Mhm.
and grow.
Yes.
Yep. And so it was like I was acing like my women's studies classes, Black American studies, like those were the humanities were my favorites, you know, because it was like, how do I help people? And that's what I always knew. Even trying to become a medical doctor, I knew I just wanted to help people. And it was always a focus on women and children, which is still my business model even today. You know, it's like, so God always knows what the best path for us is. But I did need that experience in biology and chemistry. And I appreciate that 3.5 years that I did. It taught me a lot, because I feel like there's a balance, you know, being like, so one of my favorite people to watch is and listen to is Dr. Joe Dispenza. And he is like, he combines science, like, you know, natural science, medical science, with like spirituality, right? And so it's very interesting about how he talks about how powerful our brains are, our bodies are capable, you know, of healing and those types of things, but then also making sure that we are connecting to our source, who is God, you know, who is, you know, that like he is the creator of us, period. And so I don't know, it's just like I resonate with him because I can understand it, because of my time that I spent learning about the human body, you know, learning about chemistry and all of that awesome stuff, being in the labs and mixing stuff up and studying like germs and bacteria in our mouths and our noses, all sorts of stuff. It was very interesting. And so when people start talking about that stuff, I'm like, yeah. And then when people also start talking about spirituality and humanities and, you know, topics around humanity, like I just love it all, because I feel like it all comes together. Like we are a whole person, you know, it's not just what you see outside, it's not just the physical, but it's also like the internal, what makes us us, and also how we connect human to human. Like that's important.
You were telling me you were learning about life. Now, you did things that a lot of people don't want to do, you know. If people out here like just coming, let's say, to different things, and maybe they don't like it, and maybe they just want to try it. But here's the whole thing for people to do. You have to do what you love. the kind of work that you want, the kind of things that you want. Do it because you love doing it. Don't just jump in something that you don't understand and really not interested in it. Find your niche. Because if you like your courses, if you just want to try it, try it. But if it's not what you really want to do something else. Don't jump in there and then jump out, and it's just bad for everybody because it's a repeat. And it's a repeat and a repeat. You kept coming in there and you're still not getting it. You're not learning anything. But find your niche. Find something you love to do.
Find something you love to do.
Yeah. It's very important because it's just like, I think it's one of those things where people do want to try online courses. Like I hear that a lot from people, like, oh, I want to try it. I want to try it. I want to try it. And it's like, I don't see anything wrong with trying it. I think that, you know, that's exactly what I did in college. And that's exactly what I think a lot of youth should do instead of being forced into making a decision about who they want to be and what they want to do when they get to college. Like a lot of people laughed at, and including me, I didn't quite understand, you know, people who would come into college and be, you know, they're like, I haven't made a decision yet on what I want to major. And I'm like, what? You're just in college, just being in college? Like, how can you do that? How dare you? But, you know, sometimes that's the best thing. You have to take core classes anyway, your first couple of years of school. So if that's going to be the direction that you go in, then cool beans, you know, try stuff to figure out what it is that you like. Because the whole time I was doing biology, chemistry, and all those classes, I was also doing, you know, women's studies. And that's how I was able to change my major and not spend a whole extra year in college. So, and then also there's the non-traditional route. You know, you have a lot of Gen Zers these days, they don't even want to go to college. They're like, no, it's a waste of my time, it's a waste of my money. Like, I want to do something else. I already know what I want to do. And this is the power of online courses in digital education. Like, a lot of people just want to get straight to it. Like, teach me the skill set that I need without me having to waste 4 years of my life or spend 4 years of my life trying to figure it out. And then I get out of school and I don't really know, you know, what career I want to get into, or there's not really a career that I can get into, or I end up in a job that's not in what I majored in. So just let me learn from somebody for 14 weeks what I need to do in order to make a living. And then as I grow through life, I'll just pick up more skills or more tools to put in my toolbox, and I'll make more money and do what I want to do anyway. So that's what's happening.
That's the truth. And not only that, it always says it has to be a spiritual balance and a natural balance. And you can remember that when you were in high school, you did 2 years of Bible college.
Yeah, I remember that.
So, you know, you had that extra. And then when you went out, you were able to balance that to be able to, you know, receive and work in your capacity of what you're doing now, helping others, but at the same time being a blessing for yourself
and enjoying it all.
I know, that's one of the best parts, just to be able to enjoy. Like, there's so much freedom in when people talk about online courses. Like, people talk about, you know, the freedom of finances. Like, yeah, at the end of the day though, you're still running a business, right? If I'm going to be completely transparent. So yes, you have freedom of finances. The freedom of the finances is, you know, a lot of times you're pouring your money back into your business. Like, it is what it is, right? And a lot of people don't share that. And it's just like, no, tell the people, like, if you believe in your dream and you believe in your business, you are going to pour the majority of your money back into your business to make sure that it runs and continues to run, because that's how you grow. That's how you build. That's how you scale, right? And so the freedom of finances is not just about how much money you make, right? Or how much profit you keep. The freedom of finances is about, I made this in my own business for myself, right? Like, it's like, there's power in that, you know, and the freedom of time, being able to do what you want to do, when you want to do it, because you set your own schedule. Like, that's the level, that's where the real freedom is, right? Like, it's not having to, it's having the courage to go at it, like, without the tradition, you know, while the rest of the world is telling you, go this way, go this way, go this way. the people that have changed and shaped and molded our society are people who decided, no, I'm not gonna go that way. I'm gonna go that way. Right. And those are the folks who are truly, truly free. Yeah.
So many people out here that are so knowledgeable, even scared to come and take lessons. There are some people that are so knowledgeable, they can learn right away. And they can figure out what you're talking about and can do the same thing that you're doing, but they have to have somebody to tell them where to start. So come and see Dr. Murray.
Yeah, there you go. Again, it's Jump First Academy.
It doesn't matter how smart you are. Maybe you're afraid to use what you got. Come and let her tell you what to do. And then you already have the knowledge. Then you can just learn a little bit and do as she tells you to do, and you'll earn more and learn more.
I appreciate that. And that's
having faith and leave being blessed. I see them 2 pillows right behind you.
Oh yeah, faith and blessed. Yep, that's me. But and it's one of those things. I'm currently wrapping up a book called Outwitting the Devil by Napoleon Hill. It's a really, really good book. And it's really about why people don't succeed. And Napoleon Hill, like, this book was not published for a very long time because back in the day, like 1930s, 1940s, like nobody wanted to talk about or really believe that that God could speak through people, right? That people could have these conversations with the Holy Spirit, or that the Holy Spirit would be here or present, or like I see grandmom all the time, or like people didn't believe it, like they didn't want to hear that stuff, like you're communicating with spirits, like And so Napoleon Hill in this book, the basis of it is that he had a conversation with the devil, and the devil started talking about all of the tactics and tools that he uses to stop people from reaching their purpose, from achieving their destiny, and how people could essentially overcome that, right? Like how they could not even worry about what he was doing. And the number one thing that he talks about in this book that the devil uses to stop people is fear. It's not that, because he can't, and I say this all the time, like he cannot be the one to stop the purpose and the destiny that God has put in you. He uses you. He uses your mind. He uses your mouth, like for you to curse yourself, for you to stop yourself, And so it's like that book is super deep because it talks about people who drift, and it's this concept of drifting. And he's like, there are people who don't have a definiteness of purpose. And when you say definiteness of purpose, he talks about people who don't have the will or the courage to know what they want and to go after it without stopping, just keep their eyes forward. He says, no, I use them and I get into their heads and they start drifting through life. They just allow life to happen to them. And he's like, that's the most powerful tool, is that, I use people who just drift. And I have people who are essentially like the instruments and the tools that I use in all sorts of institutions, our educational system, our churches, people who instill fear, so much fear in people that it keeps them just drifting through life. They don't have definition of purpose.
Now you're using a diagram there because the people do move away from their objective. I'll put it like that. Spiritual people has a road that leads to the gateway to heaven, but that road is very narrow. And the people that try to find it that's not sincere will lose their way. But the Bible says the straight is the way, and the straight is the way to the gate of heaven, and narrow is the road, but very few will find it.
That's right. And so we also have to remember that the first thing that the enemy attack is to bombard your mind. And if you allow him to bombard your mind, then you allow him to enter into your heart, and then you may speak or act on those things that he has have put in you. So therefore you have to be very careful and cautious too at the same time. But then, like your father said, that you know, spiritual, on a spiritual note, there are strong ones that are strong. And regardless of what the enemy may try, it won't work.
That's right.
God said he knows who his children are, and he gives the enemy permission. So that's another thing that we have to be cautious of too. We got to be strong to be able to overcome.
Focus on your object. Focus on self. Focus on what you want to do. And keep it straight. Keep that line straight.
That means the greater is he in me than he that is in the world, and that is God himself. Focus.
Yeah. That's true. And it's like one of those things where it's like, I don't feel like God gives you desires or wants if it's not something that you can achieve. Like, he doesn't give you the vision for something that you can't have or something that you can't achieve. And so when you stay focused on that, you know, again, like the only tool, like the most, and I forget the other one that he talks about in this book, but it's one of the number ones is fear. It is the doubt. It is like those thoughts that come in. And so immediately, if you can find a way to switch that off, right? Because a belief, your thoughts turn into beliefs. So a belief is just a thought that you keep thinking. And a lot of people are running these programs that they've been, you know, having since they were kids. Like whether you're programmed by your educational system, your parents, like whomever it is, like their programs, our brain runs on a program. It's something that is changeable. And so if you can figure out and actually pay attention to what is the current program that is running, what is the program that I want to run, you can actually reprogram your brain so that you reprogram your beliefs, so that you reprogram your habits, so that you reprogram your actions and the things that you do and how you show up. But it is a conscious effort. Like you literally have to pay attention to what you're thinking and catch the thought. And immediately, you know, when I catch those things, I have different mantras that I say to myself, you know, throughout my day. So if I catch myself thinking something negative about whether it's personal, business, whatever it is, it's like one of my favorite ones is everything is always working out for my good. I am blessed. I feel happy. I choose joy. Everything is always working out for my good. I am blessed. I feel happy. I choose joy. And I will repeat that out loud because there's power in spoken word. I always say there's power in spoken word. There's power in written word. I am favored. I am loved. I am prosperous. Like saying those things will drown out whatever negative thoughts I have. Because anytime that we feel negativity, whether it's fear, doubt, like you can feel in the bottom in the pit of your stomach. People often say, oh, it's just butterflies when they're nervous. It's like, no, a lot of times those butterflies are in a negative thing. Like it's not always a positive thing. So we got to be able to be careful and pay attention. Like, you know, and I think about it even like in my dating and things like that, you know, it's like getting butterflies, like, oh, I'm excited. Like, no, that might be a warning sign. You know, you might need to pay attention.
So, and then
you can pay attention to what's going on.
Talking about the program is subject to change.
That's the word.
And so therefore you can't move ahead of God. You got to be beside him. You can't be behind him. You got to be beside him because God is the creator of all. And he may steer you one way and he say, no, we're going to go this way now. So therefore program is subject to change. And you've heard us say that all down through the years, doing one thing and then God will take us another way.
And Dr. Mary just talked about that, and you. Your program, when you're born and you grow up in a family, you're programmed to have that same style. You have that same thought. But when you grow up, and there's a change. And you can feel it in your body. You have to change to what you want. Don't keep going in that same direction you've been going because it's not worth it. And you'll lose your sanity. You'll lose what you could have got and can get because it's out there for you. Take advantage of it.
But if you've grown, even as a child, on a foundation, some haven't. But if you have, then therefore it's like a tree that's planted by the water. And then it has its branches. And so therefore you go out and God may have your household to be different than what the household you lived in. But you don't forget a lot of things that are good for you, that's been instilled, that are some good things. Some things you can say, thank you for enlightening me, but I'm going to do it this way.
Yeah.
So it's okay.
Yeah.
It's okay.
Look at Dr. Murray. Look at Dr. Murray. Change. She different things that she was doing.
Gonna hold on to that basic
changed.
toolkit and add all that stuff up in there, continue to accumulate.
She changed her style.
Yes.
And now look at it. Prospering.
Yes. Praise God.
That'll help you.
I appreciate it. JumpFirstAcademy.org. We are shameless plugging today. But yeah, like that's the truth, you know, and you can't be afraid to like, and people take it when I say, you know, you gotta be selfish, you know, at the end of the day, like you gotta care about yourself. And it's not selfish about being, you know, like disrespectful or rude to other people or disregarding other people as if they are beneath you. That's not what I mean by that term selfish. I mean selfish in the sense of you need to do what's best for you, regardless. Like I can't tell you how many of my peers I've talked to who made choices based on their parents, you know, who made choices based on their siblings, who made choices based on girlfriends and boyfriends, you know, it's just like, well, at the end of the day, like, are you truly fulfilled? Are you truly happy? Are you truly doing the thing that you were put here to do, that you want to do? Because no one else's assignment is yours, and your assignment is no one else's. And so, you know, it's just being able to, like I talked about at the top of this conversation, thank you guys for cultivating a space where I could just be myself, because that has enabled me to really just be like, I don't care what y'all think. I'm just going to pop out here and do what I want to do and what makes me happy at the end of the day, you know?
Yes.
You're right. You know what? I'm going to say this and then I'm done talking. But there's so many people out here mentally that's asleep. They got to wake up and see what's going on around them. Otherwise, they'll be in that same program over and over again. You have the power to change. Wake up, sleepers.
That's literally it. And that's, we're gonna wrap there, because that was really good. It's absolutely true. Like I just feel, you know, people, there are a lot of people who are fake woke too. You know, they think they're woke and they're not really woke, and they gotta do something else. And that's the power of mentorship. You know, it's not just when people come to me for online courses, it's not just the online course, it's not just the strategy that we are creating and we are cultivating. It is your mindset. It's the empowerment that you need, you know, the same space that I just talked about my parents cultivating for me when I was younger, to be able to be myself, you know, to be able to stand on what I believe in. That's the space that I cultivate in my programs. It's empowering people to be who they were created to be, to show up in this world in your divine purpose, in what it is that your assignment is on this earth, without shame, without fear, without those limitations. It's like breaking the shackles off so that you can move forward and impact other people. Because I know that a part of my assignment, one of my major assignments on this earth, is empowering other people to walk in their purposes. Because when I impact somebody, they go impact somebody else, right? And so it's a ripple effect over and over and over again. That's how we make and change this world. I think that's important. So we need more people to step up. The other thing that I want to say, the thing that for those of you all who didn't catch the walking with God, not in front of or behind, here's how I think about it too. For some of you guys who are like, wait, what? Don't think about your past. Don't think about the future. You need to be in the moment, be in the present. All right. Be right here where you are. Embrace that and allow things to flow. Right. So not the past, not the future, right now. I love y'all so much. I hope that this was helpful. Thank you, Mom and Dad. And we'll catch y'all next week for Unscripted Coffee Conversations.
Peace.
Bye, y'all.
All right. Love you.
Love you too. I don't know how to end it. All right. gonna stop the